Praise the Lord. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief devotional. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So excited to have this wonderful opportunity to lead you today in a very special way in yet another grief devotion. This is the daily grief devotional that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you would express it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because morning is a good thing. And I'm glad that you are here on today as we lead you in a very special way in yet another grief devotion. Today's grief lesson, today is day 14. We're going to talk about I understand that grief and mourning aren't the same thing. I understand that grief and mourning are not the same thing. This is one of the premise of this devotion to really push and help you to understand the difference between grief and mourning. I say it every day in the intro. Grief is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is what you reveal on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it. What you feel, right? That's grief. We express it. That's mourning. We don't conceal it, right? What you feel, that's grief. But we reveal it. That's mourning. We don't ignore what you feel. That's grief. But we explore what you feel. That's mourning. We don't lock it up, right? Grief. We let it out. That's mourning. And that's why we shout good morning, because mourning is a good thing. It's a great thing. And I want y'all to understand the power and the importance of the difference, right? We're going to get into it a little bit. This lesson is short today. Grief is everything I think and feel inside of me about the loss. Grief is everything you think and feel inside of you about the loss. How do you feel about the loss, right? When you start looking at your life, you start talking about the loss of a loved one, or the loss of anything, the loss, the change, and the transition of anything. I don't care how small it is, whether it's your dog dying, whether it's your car being totaled and falling apart, whether it's you having to move to a new geographical location. How do you feel about the loss? The loss of employment. You've gone from working to retirement. How do you feel about the loss? Maybe you didn't retire, but you got fired from your job. Or maybe you didn't get fired. Maybe they moved you from the first floor to the fifth floor, right? That's change. That's transition. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the loss of a relationship? How do you feel about the loss of a friendship? How do you feel about the loss of, as you grow older and your body starts to change? How do you feel about that loss, change, and transition? How do you feel about the loss? You don't have your baby anymore because he's about to be a senior. He's graduating. How do you feel about that? Y'all, grief is all about how you feel. You're getting married. It's the happiest day of your life, right? But you're also losing, right? As it relates to, you're losing your singleness. You're losing a season of your life. You're changing the transition into the, so while it's happy and you're excited, you still may feel a little something on the inside, right? And you're saying to yourself, it's the happiest day of my life, and I don't know what I'm, because you feel something about what you are perhaps losing. How do you feel about the loss, right? And this is the question you have to ask yourself when it comes to any loss, change, or transition in your life, because you feel something about it. And that's, we oftentimes we feel, we can't pinpoint, we don't understand as grief. So a lot of times we don't reveal. A lot of times we think it's silly. A lot of times we don't want to articulate it. A lot of times we don't want people to look at us crazy. So we don't say anything. And y'all, I don't care how small it is, right? You have the right to feel. You have the right to reveal. The question becomes, how do you feel about the loss? Grief is everything I think and feel inside of me about the loss. Mourning is expressing those thoughts and feelings outside of myself. Grief is what you feel. Mourning is when you express and reveal those thoughts outside of yourself. Mourning must have motion. Mourning must have action. And this is where a lot of us get stuck, because we feel, but we don't reveal. So we get stuck and we stay stuck. We feel, we suppress and we don't express. So we get stuck and we stay stuck, right? Because we feeling, but we're not revealing. Grief is what you feel. Mourning is how you reveal it outside of yourself. And I'm telling you now, you got to reveal it outside of yourself. I don't care how big, I don't care how small, I don't care how minute or minor you may think it is. You reserve the right to be able to articulate how you feel. You reserve the right to open up your mouth and express what you're feeling regarding what you're going through, right? That, my brothers and sisters, is mourning. If you want to be the healthiest version of yourself, learn how to both feel as well as reveal. Men, let me help you out. You want to be an emotionally connected man. I know you've been taught all your life, don't show your emotions. The devil is a liar. Have the opportunity to feel, because you do, even though you don't reveal, but you need to put yourself in a place where you can reveal what you feel. Some of us are so impacted because we've had so many things that have happened in our life that we felt, but we've never revealed. That we feel, but we've never revealed, right? Right. I do this exercise with people all the time. You can do it on your own, but I'll write 3 columns on a board or 3 columns on a piece of paper, and I'll write loss, change, and transition. And I will say, write down everything you've lost, right? Look back over your life, write down everything you lost, write down all the changes that you went through that you can think of, write down all the transition you navigated through, right? Let's talk about it. Let's go through it one by one. Yeah, that's enough to have sessions, coaching sessions for 10 years, right? Because there's so much that you haven't unpacked from your past. And this is the thing, you still feel something about it, but you never reveal. This is the thing. I love it. What is it? I love creating spaces to where people can be just 100% honest and vulnerable. And I'm like, what is it that you always wanted to say or reveal, but never felt like you could? Like, what is it? What is it that you've always wanted to articulate? What is it that you've always wanted to get off your chest? What is it that you always wanted to express, right? Regarding you, regarding the people closest to you, regarding your life. What is it that it's just sitting there on your chest and you're like, I can't tell this to nobody. What is it? Because I'm telling, when you just release it and get it off, oh my God, I mean, that you instantly feel relief just being able. Release leads to relief, right? Release leads to relief. Y'all know that. Y'all know that from, a couple of different things. That definitely using a restroom, right? When you gotta go real bad, and that release, it leads to a relief, right? And if you can understand that about bowel movements, using the restroom, I need you to understand that. If you can understand that physically, I need you to understand this when it comes to grief, when it comes to mourning. Your release, it leads to relief. And what is it that you need to articulate, that you need to get off your chest? What is it that you need to say, right? Because grief is what you feel. Mourning, right, is what you reveal, how you express it outside of yourself. Grief happens automatically after a loss. It happens automatically. It's instant. It's period. Everybody goes through it. You're gonna feel something about everything, right? You're gonna feel something. Grief happens automatically after a loss. Mourning takes time and effort. Understand it. Grief happens automatically. Mourning takes time and mourning takes effort. Mourning, because you got to process your feelings. And every day you may feel something different, right? Or you'll go through seasons, you right? You'll go through, sometimes we go through those 5 stages of grief. Sometimes we go through anger, we go through denial, we go through depression, we go through all of those, we're and every day may be different. So that's why it's important to every day express outside of you what's on the inside of you, because every day is different, right? And so we go through that, we navigate through that. Mourning takes time and effort. Mourning is the work of grief, and mourning is how I heal. Mourning is the work of grief, and mourning is how you heal. My brothers and sisters, mourning is the work of grief, and mourning is how you heal. It's how you, if you don't mourn, you don't heal. I say feel, reveal, heal. You're automatically going to feel. You need to reveal so you can heal. Mourning is the work of grief, and mourning is how you heal. Here's the reflection. Putting my grief into action through mourning allows me to experience change and movement. Putting my grief into action through mourning allows me to experience change and movement. I want to tell you the power and the importance of putting yourself in places where you can reveal what you feel. If you want to be the best version of yourself, if you want to be healthy, you will learn how to feel, reveal, so that you can heal. I love y'all. Today is day 14. We're talking about, I understand that grief and mourning aren't the same thing. Do me a favor. If this is a blessing to you, right? Not only do I need you to go watch it again, right? Watch the replay, but share it with somebody. Share this with somebody who may be grieving, who may be going through, who may not be able to articulate what they're feeling. Share it to somebody who may be stuck. Share it to somebody who may not understand the difference between grief and mourning. Share it with somebody that will give them awareness and a clear understanding of what may be taking place in their life. And my sincere hope, prayer, and desire is that you will put yourself in safe places and safe spaces where you can get the help you need, where you can feel and reveal so that you can heal and be the best version of yourself. It's Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. I love you with the love of the Lord. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Let's go.